It's a scary night in Texas. Storms are whipping across the sky, and the news is reporting that conditions are favorable for tornadoes. Our friends heard the tornado watch sirens and are hunkered down in their storm closet with flashlights, spare batteries, food, and umbrellas. We join them now as they talk about their current situation and what disasters could happen.
What's the nickname they give this part of America again?
Tornado Alley, because that's the majority of tornadoes in the U.S. could happen across this part of the plains.
But they can happen anywhere. We just live in the area that gets it the most.
Well, it's usually nice to be in first place, except for this.
Yeah, each time we have to come in this storm closet, it gives me cold chills.
Same here. But we have to take shelter. Those storms are really serious.
In a way, being in this storm closet is kind of like being in a prison.
I can see that. It's a small room, and it's not very comfortable.
And we don't have to leave until Mom and Dad say so. They're kind of like our jailers.
If only the door was made out of prison bars.
But prison bars wouldn't keep out flying glass and boards that could hurt us.
No, they wouldn't. But it's still fun to think about. Hey, remember last month when we discussed prison in Bible class?
We're not in your class. Are you talking about when Peter was rescued from prison by an angel?
No.
Or when Joseph was in prison and interpreted the dreams for the baker and the cupbearer?
Those are both prison stories, all right. But in my class, we talked about Paul and Silas being in prison.
I don't know that story.
Why were they in jail?
They were in prison because they healed a girl who had a spirit in her. First, they were beaten with rods, then put in prison with their feet in the stocks.
That doesn't seem fair.
And it sounds really painful.
Yep. Our situation isn't nice in this storm closet, but at least we don't have to get beaten with rods.
What happened? Did they get out?
Did someone treat their wounds?
Yes and yes, eventually. But first comes the part that's hard to believe. After they were beaten and mistreated, they were in the prison at night singing and praising God.
Oh, wow. If they were singing, maybe we should work on our attitude in the storm closet, huh?
I could certainly do a little better. Is that the end of the story with Paul and Silas?
Nope. Mother Nature is active tonight, and Mother Nature played a part for Paul and Silas. As they were singing and praying, a great earthquake shook the prison and opened all the doors and chains.
So they could all just walk out?
You mean they were free?
Well, yes and no. The jailer woke up and thought the prisoners had escaped, but Paul yelled to him that all the prisoners were still there.
What did the jailer do then, since everyone was still in the prison?
It sounds like God had something to do with the earthquake and the chains.
The jailer recognized God was responsible because he came to Paul and Silas. He was trembling and he asked them, "What must I do to be saved?"
Let me get this straight. There was an earthquake, and then the jailer was asking them about salvation?
I bet Paul and Silas told him what he needed to do.
You're both right. Scary circumstances get a lot of people to think about what would happen if they were to die, and Paul and Silas were ready to answer these questions. The jailer was baptized that same night.
So if someone we know gets scared tonight because of the tornadoes and wants to talk about going to heaven, we should be ready to tell them about Jesus, right?
That's right.
Wait, I don't understand. If God created the universe, why would he let Paul and Silas get beaten with rods? And why does he let tornadoes happen? People die in these storms.
God doesn't save us from harm. People still get sick or maybe die in a car crash. Same with tornadoes and mean people. Bad things may happen to us. But God does promise he'll be with us, and if we're faithful, we get to go to heaven and be with him.
Okay, I'm starting to see. We have to be ready to teach people about Jesus no matter what our circumstances are.
And sometimes we might be in a bad situation, even one that is painful or one that could kill us, and we have to be ready to teach people about Jesus.
That's correct. Our life will have ups and downs, but we have to be faithful ourselves and teach others about Jesus regardless of what is happening.
You said Paul and Silas were singing and praying, right? Maybe we could sing and pray in here.
I'd love to do that with y'all. We even know some hymns about storms.
That's a great idea, and we can pray to God thanking him for giving us this storm closet and asking him to spare our city from the tornadoes. If he gave Paul and Silas a great escape from prison, he can give us a great escape from tornadoes with his will.